Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and welcome to a video today that is a very special one. And no, I'm not talking about Jose Mourinho, the special one. I am of course referring to the fact that this is the first episode of my WWE 2K GM mode in All Elite Wrestling. That is right, Deonte DDJ is All Elite. And you already know I had to dust off this old GM attire right here from the days of the Universe GM mode series a year ago where I was the Raw General Manager. But now we are here in an alternate universe where Tony Khan has given me the call, and bada bing bada boom, I am your AEW General Manager. And I really hope I can do a better job than I did with Monday Night Raw, because I mean my booking wasn't terrible, but my consistency was questionable. I mean, I don't know about you, but can you imagine a Monday Night Raw where sometimes they were just like, you know what, there's no episode for this week? That would be a shambles. So hopefully my consistency for the AEW General Manager mode is much better than it used to be, but I think it will be. I'm feeling pretty confident about this job, you know. I've already pulled up to this job, my first day on the job. I'm styling and profiling out here. And I mean, whilst this shirt and blazer is definitely a little too small for me and it's a little outdated, kind of like the fact that I still have the Christmas tree in the back. Okay, you know what? Stop judging me, okay? Judge me based on my GM ability. Don't judge me on how I look. But don't you worry, viewers sitting at home. You can be rest assured that one thing that won't be outdated on my AEW is the camera work. Because we're definitely not going to be doing it how the competition over there does it, where it zoom ins every 3.5 seconds and switches here, there, and everywhere. No. We're going to be doing it different here in my AEW, in Deonte DDJ's AEW. But no, all WWE slander aside, let me go ahead and explain to you just how this series is going to work. So the first things first is that it is based off how good I book and make the shows somewhat similarly to Universe GM mode. Except the thing with this AEW GM mode series, and something that I really thought I should have emphasized more a year ago in this series, in the Universe GM mode series, is the importance of viewership and ratings and everything, because that's something that I really feel is important when it comes to making a GM mode series. And so the more views I bring in, aka ratings and likes, the more money I get from the board and the higher ups to put back into my AEW Dynamite. I begin with a $200,000 budget, and I start off with a minimalized roster after what we shall refer to as an AEW roster reset, with the two current champions remaining being Jon Moxley and Hikaru Shida. The option to buy other titles like the tag team titles and TNT title or even other superstars is there in the future if I choose so, but it will come at a price. With superstars such as Sting costing more than a Darby Allin or a Hangman Adam Page, the prices are based on ability and status. For example, Sting is $50,000 and Darby Allin is only $20,000. And in this AEW series, if I want to earn more money to put back into my Dynamite, there is only a few ways to do so, and the biggest way is you watching this video. And so the first things first, we have ratings goals on each episode that equate to how much money I get from the higher ups and from the board and from the Khan family. For example, 250 views on an episode equals an extra $10,000 to my budget, 500 views equals 15 grand, 750 views equals 20 grand, 1,000 views equals 30 grand, and 2,000 or higher views equals $50,000 added to the budget. So essentially what I'm saying is, it is up to you, the people watching this video. Share the video around, share the episodes around, you know, maybe get in pointless arguments about ratings on Twitter with NXT people if you want, and just be like, hey, NXT sucks, they only got 900,000 views in the ratings this week. Did you know that Deonte DDJ's AEW GM mode got 750 views? Maybe you should come check out his series, because the more views he gets, the more budget he gets, and the more people he can sign. You know what I'm saying? Additionally, extra money can be earned through like ratings as well. So 25 likes would get me $5,000, 50 likes would get me $10,000, 100 likes $20,000, 150 likes $25,000, 200 likes would be 35 grand added to the current budget. As I mentioned briefly a moment ago, the beginning champions of this GM mode series will be the world champion Jon Moxley and the AEW women's champion Hikaru Shida. And to the dismay of Tony Khan and the Khan family, I have already spent my $200,000 budget to begin this GM mode series. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, it would have been very entertaining to book the first episode as Jon Moxley versus Hikaru Shida, and I could have done that, but I thought, you know what, let me spice up the roster a little bit heading into the first episode of Dynamite. So here is my initial roster, and in a moment I'll go and show you everyone we can unlock down the road in this series. But beginning with the initial roster, we got Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion, Hikaru Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, Britt Baker DMD, who cost me $10,000, Cody Rhodes, who cost me 25 grand, the Young Bucks, who cost me 35 grand, Inner Circle of Chris Jericho, Proud and Powerful, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara, that cost me 75 grand, Jesus Christ. And to round off the roster here, we've got Kenny Omega, the Best Bout Machine, for 35 grand, and MJF for $20,000. In conclusion, my goal is to give you guys the best show possible and legitimately be the GM of AEW whilst working to sign everyone possible, and at the start of each episode we will reconvene to buy more stars, titles, etc. Oh, and one more thing, there may even be an option down the line to sign unsigned free agents of the wrestling world, but more on that later. And so on your screen right now, you can see here all the different prices for the AEW GM mode and all the roster members I did not buy with the initial 200 grand budget, but we can buy in future episodes as the budget begins to grow. You know, for example, we've got SCU in there for 35 grand, we've got Brian Cage, we've got the TNT Championship, we've got the Tag Team Championship, Big Swole, we've got all people here. And so yeah, there you have it. There is the initial rules for my AEW GM mode series here in WWE 2K. Hopefully it all makes sense. As the series goes along, we will definitely go ahead and upgrade the rules and, you know, make some fine tweaks here and there. Like I said, it's a building thing in progress. You've got to remember that this is only my first day on the job. I'm getting used to this thing again. It's been a while since I suited up here. But we're working on things and trying to make this series the best it possibly can be. And of course, I can't do that without the power of you, the AEW universe. Nope, they don't call that. Nope. The AEW fans out there in the universe, and I can't do it without your guys' help, so any feedback you want to give me, then go ahead and do that. But without any more further ado, I present to you the first episode of AEW Dynamite. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AEW Dynamite. We are officially on the air once again here on this Wednesday evening, where we're kicking things off with the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley. And it has been a hell of a career resurgence for that man right there, Jon Moxley, ever since he jumped ship from the competition to arrive here in Dynamite. He has been on fire like no other. But it is an ever-changing landscape on Dynamite, and it'll be interesting to see how the champion adapts to this new era of Dynamite. I think we're going to hear from Jon Moxley right here, right now, to kick things off. Changes in the air with our new general manager making big moves across the board, and whilst that will be very interesting to observe, it really makes me pay attention to the things that haven't changed at all, and what has remained the same for months now is that I am the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. But with that being said, the roster and contract resets in this company has left these hallways a little bare, a little empty to how things used to be, and it almost feels like a changing of the guard. But I'll tell you this, I'm still the same old Jon Moxley, and I'm still itching to fight. So anyone in the back who is itching to take this title from me, be my guest. Because it doesn't matter who is left or who decides to try, they all end up the same anyway. Because to take this title from me, you're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead hands. You're going to have to show nothing but reckless abandon, nothing but blood, guts and hearts left in this ring after you have beaten me senseless. And even then, it won't be enough, because at the end of the night, I'll still be standing as Jon Moxley, your AEW World Heavyweight. Hang on just a second, Jon Moxley. I think you're about to be introduced to the best bout machine. That man right there, Kenny Omega, is here on Dynamite. What Moxley was asking for it, he said that anyone that wants to come try take this title from me can come and do so, and I think Kenny Omega is answering the challenge. And I don't think it's an over-exaggeration to say that business has just picked up. Oh, what were you saying, John? Something about still being AEW World Champion by the end of the night? See, you've been real impressive ever since you came to AEW. Yeah, I remember the night very well. It was Double or Nothing last year where you came strolling through the crowd to come face to face with your old pal Jericho. And then, on the first episode of Dynamite, you attacked me and hit me with a paradigm shift through a glass coffee table. And I'm still feeling the scars of that night. Wounds that will never heal. And so, I think it's only fitting that on this, the historic night of the AEW roster reset, while we're both still around, I think it's time I gave you your receipt. So what do you say? That's just fine, Omega. I whipped your ass once and I'll whip it again 10 times over, but just know this. I said I wanted a fight, not a wrestling match, so I'll put my title on the line, but we're not doing this under normal rules. This is gonna be a no-holds-barred street fight, and so we'll see by the end of tonight who will be the last man standing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a historic night for AEW Dynamite where the landscape will surely never be the same again, but something that remains the same is the cocky and disrespectful attitude of my guest at this time, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. First of all, why are you here? Aren't you supposed to be somewhere else? Well, not that it's any of your business, but I'm no longer under contract there anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a shit where you came from, sugar tits. The only thing that matters is me and the AEW Dynamite diamond ring, and by the way, it's not cocky or disrespectful if I can back it up, which I do every single time I'm in that ring. And tonight, when me and the big man Wardlow take on the young Cooks, we're gonna show exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, thank you for your time. Speak when you're spoken to, sweetheart. And by the way, anytime John isn't satisfying you, just give me a call, huh? And here we go with our first bit of action on this new era of AEW Dynamite. Nick Jackson to your left, Matt Jackson to your right. Here comes the Young Bucks. And it goes completely without saying, but I'll say it if you're new to the Dynamite roster. One of the very best, if not the best tag team of all time. Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, decorated everywhere they have been around the world. And I'm sure when those tag team championships are introduced here on this new era of Dynamite, these two men will be in the conversation to become the inaugural champions around the world. Everyone agrees that these two men are two of the very best to ever lace up a pair of boots. Well, the question is, when it comes to Matt and Nick, can they kick off this new era of Dynamite here with a win over MJF and Wardlow? We're about to find out. Oh boy, and speaking of the aforementioned Maxwell Jacob Friedman, cocky, disrespectful son of a bitch. We saw him earlier in that interview with Renee Paquette. Absolutely no regard for human life or anyone's feelings. The only person that he cares about is the man he sees in the mirror every morning, and that is himself, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He goes around parading that Dynamite diamond ring, but the question is for MJF, when does the time come that he wins his first bit of actual gold in Dynamite? It's good enough having a diamond ring and everything, that's great, but for a young kid like MJF, eventually at some point, he has got to go ahead and win a championship here in AEW. It has to happen to solidify himself as one of the very best young talents in the world of professional wrestling today. And whether that be the AEW World Championship from Jon Moxley or another title coming soon, one thing for sure is that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is one of the fastest rising stars, whether you like him or not, whether you like the way he conducts business. He is very damn good at what he does. And now here comes the big man himself, Wardlow. But with that being said, no one tell MJF what I just said about him. I really can't be bothered with him coming after me as the general manager. I don't want to deal with that. But the big man Wardlow, weighing in at 300 pounds, an absolute unit of a man. A man who was introduced to us here on Dynamite as the heavy, really, of MJF, but now he's branching out, making a career of his own, and doing a very good damn job at it. When it comes to a guy like Wardlow, he has world champion written all over him, and much like MJF, I'm sure eventually we're gonna see it happen. But now as Ref Aubrey rings the bell, our first bit of action begins here on a new era in AEW Dynamite as Matt Jackson lifts MJ up for the suplex right there. But wait a second, MJF going for something of his own right here. Matt Jackson, I don't think he's going to allow that to happen. He manages to get out of the suplex, and now Jackson, he has MJF where he wants him and he slams him down. The Bucks of Youth throwing up the Too Sweet, shout out to their older days in New Japan Pro Wrestling and the Bullet Club. There's a spinning uppercut right there. A spinning European uppercut from Matt Jackson as he knees MJF straight to the gut. And now what the hell is Matt Jackson thinking? Wait a second, he spins him round, and now Jackson with the neck breaker. Oh, nice counter there by MJF. A little bit of a cheap shot, but you expect nothing less from MJF. And now here comes the big man, and it'll be interesting to see how the Young Bucks deal with the big man in this match going forward. It's one thing to be a high-flying superstar like the Young Bucks are, but how do they deal with the... Whoa, there's how they deal with Wardlow. They get him down, and they eliminate the big man factor. It's much harder said than done. I mean, you get Wardlow down, and he gets back up. It is incredibly hard to beat down and make a man stay down that is of that stature, that is of that size. And look at the power of Wardlow right here. The standing suplex, holding Matt Jackson like he's a toy, delivering the suplex. And you know, I was talking a minute ago about both Wardlow and MJF being future champions, no doubt about it. In this business, I see great potential in them going forward. But I mean, we talk about a potential TNT championship coming back to this new era of Dynamite, or a potential other mid-card title, or even a world title for either of those men. But what about the tag team championships? I can easily see MJF and Wardlow running the thing, doing the damn thing in the tag team division. Nice counter there by Matt Jackson, knee straight to the gut again, and it looks like he's going to try for this on the big man this time. Here we go, spins him around and delivers the neck breaker. But wait a second, now Wardlow has caught Matt Jackson here in an enemy territory where he doesn't want to beat up Jackson with a big boot, and now Matt Jackson here spinning around Wardlow with the Hurricane Rana, or excuse me, with the head scissors there, taking down Wardlow. And now Matt Jackson has Wardlow exactly where he wants, and now Wardlow is the one finding himself in enemy territory because here comes Nick Jackson, and now throwing him into the center of the ring. What are the Young Bucks about to go for here? Nick Jackson with that maneuver right there, and the 450 by Matt, and Nick is not done here with the moonsault as well. Offensive innovation sums up the Young Bucks to a T. You never expect it, but it is always absolutely spectacular. But wait a second, you never expect that. A nice counter there to that neck breaker maneuver that Nick Jackson was going for, and now Wardlow, look at the strength of him again with a standing suplex, and now Wardlow just wrestling down on the head of Nick Jackson. Nick might have to get a tag back into Matt Jackson. He was handling Wardlow a lot better here on this first episode of Dynamite in the new era. This is the first bit of action here in this new era as Wardlow is feeling himself, but later tonight in our main event, it'll be Jon Moxley against Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. What a way to kick things off after Moxley was confronted by Kenny Omega. But Wardlow now, he's got the submission hold, he's got it on. Is Nick gonna tap out? No, he's not. He gets out of it, and look at that, Wardlow manages to get the tag to MJF, but Nick saw it happen, and now Nick with the clothesline taking MJF's damn head off. But as I was saying, later on tonight in our main event, it will be Mox against Omega for that world title in a no-holds-barred street fight, and that is going to be one for the ages between those two men. But now a nice counter there by Nick Jackson, and now Nick go for the uppercut. He doesn't quite get any of it right there, and now MJF, what's he thinking here? Working down on the knee right there, and this is smart, incredibly smart by the young kid MJF, one of the fastest rising stars, as he'll tell you, he'll let you know that he is one of the fastest rising stars here in AEW. And it's incredibly smart that he's going after the knees of the Young Bucks right here, of Nick Jackson, because you take out the knees of the Young Bucks and they can't go for the aerial offense that they are known for. With that being said, look at this, Nick Jackson is looking to go airborne here on the first episode of Dynamite, looking for a moonsault. MJF gets the knees up, incredibly quick there, and now, oh, he went for the super kick there, and Enziguri countered by Nick Jackson. Both these men physically spin, and he catches him. He got absolutely all of that with that Enziguri. Nick Jackson feeling fatigued after he was just in there with Wardlow. That's the kind of thing that the big man will do to you. He'll wear you down, and then MJF comes in and capitalizes. That's just the great tag team work of MJF and Wardlow here in Dynamite, and MJF always gonna let you know just that he is better than you, and you know it. Nice counter there by MJF though, counter that Irish whip, and look at this, instead of going after Nick Jackson, he tags in the big man Wardlow, but this time Nick is ready, and oh my goodness me, do you see that? Did you see that demonstration of strength from Wardlow right there? Nick went for a spear, I think, and he just said nope, that's not happening. And look at this again. I know I'm beating it like a dead horse, but look at the strength of Wardlow. Look at the size of this man, an absolute unit if I've ever seen one. And Wardlow is gearing up for something big right now. Nick absolutely needs to get the tag to a fresher Matt Jackson on the apron right here, but I don't know if Wardlow's going to allow that to happen. And now the big man with the knee, and now Nick Jackson here fighting tooth and claw to try and get to Matt, try and get the tag on the apron. And now look where Wardlow is here. He gets the oh no, he doesn't get the tag in to Matt Jackson on the apron. It's countered by Wardlow, and now Nick Jackson spinning around for the head scissors. And now hang on a second, what the hell is Nick Jackson thinking right here? He's got Wardlow in a precarious position, and Nick Jackson has walked all the way to the other side of the ring. What the hell are we about to see here on the debut edition of Dynamite in the new era after the roster reset? Nick Jackson looking to go coast to coast on Wardlow from the other side of the ring. And look at this now, Nick Jackson trying to crawl back to Young Bucks territory, get the tag to the much fresher Matt Jackson, but MJF simply is not allowing it to happen. Now a knee, oh my goodness me, he might have busted Nick Jackson open again in this matchup. The AEW doctors cleaned him up, and I think Nick Jackson was just busted wide open again, but wait a second, Nick Jackson with the Enziguri, he got back up, MJF was going airborne, it was countered, and now MJF with a kick as well, and a clothesline to finish things off in that sequence. And now Nick Jackson looking at MJF with a drop kick as well. Is this the turning point of the match for the Young Bucks? Bucks. If there's one team in the world of professional wrestling who you can't lose hope on, it is the Young Bucks, and a nice move there by Matt Jackson. And now Nick Jackson, Hurricane Rana right here, and the Young Bucks are feeling themselves right here in front of the crowd. But wait a second, look at MJF, he gets the big man tagged in, and here comes Wardlow, and now, oh my god, the big man taking down Nick Jackson. A momentary bit of breath from Nick Jackson. He turns around once, and bam, here comes the big man. And now Matt Jackson has been tagged in here, but Wardlow again using his size and his strength to dominate the competition. And now Wardlow here, what's he thinking? Wait a second, oh my god, he just slams down Matt Jackson. He can do whatever he wants right now. Matt Jackson is exactly where he wants him. And look at this, just taunting in the face, saying he's gonna crush Matt Jackson. But wait a second, Jackson with a counter. Jackson with a counter, trying to chop down the massive tree that is Wardlow here on Dynamite. Now Matt Jackson here slides underneath him. Jackson with the Hurricane Rana to Wardlow. And Matt Jackson ever impressive with the super kick to Wardlow. And now Wardlow is busted wide open. And now hang on a second, they're not going for this on the big man, are they? MJF trying to interrupt, but he can't interrupt this. Nick Jackson with one move. Matt Jackson with the 450 splasher to finish up the trifecta of moves. There you go. Moonsault for your trouble. More bang for your buck, and a super kick party as well. And now Nick Jackson into the cover on a bloody Wardlow right here on Dynamite, and the Young Bucks pick up the win. And what a hell of a match that was here on Dynamite. What a fight between these two teams. Whenever that tag team division finally gets going, these two teams, no doubt about it, are going to be up there when it comes to contendership, because that was absolutely amazing. And as much as it pays me to give credit to MJF and Wardlow, what an incredible performance it was from that downright arrogant tag team, but an incredible performance nonetheless. But in the end, the Young Bucks get the job done. What a win here to kick off Dynamite. The Young Bucks kicking off a new era of AEW Dynamite with a bang, with a win over MJF and Wardlow. But next week on AEW Dynamite, the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida will be here to address the world on her future in AEW. And we don't stop there, because also next week on Dynamite, Cody Rhodes, the EVP, a multi-time champion in this business and wrestling royalty, will be here on AEW with a very special announcement. You won't want to miss it. And here we go, it is time for the main event here on AEW Dynamite. The World Heavyweight Championship, the AEW World Championship is on the line. That man right there, Kenny Omega, gets his chance to give Jon Moxley the receipt, as he said earlier tonight, in this no-holds-barred street fight. And there is no doubt about it, this is going to be a main event for the ages. What a way to finish off the first episode of Dynamite here on AEW's GM mode here in WWE 2K. Kenny Omega taking on Jon Moxley for the title. And there is no doubt about it, this match right here is going to be an absolute banger. What a way to finish off Dynamite here tonight. Two of the very best on the roster right now. The question is, can the best bout machine end tonight as the AEW World Champion, or will this man right here, Jon Moxley, continue to reign supreme? We're about to find out. I mentioned it at the top of the show, but it has been a career resurgence of sorts ever since Moxley jumped ship and came here to Dynamite. He has become world champion, he has become a new man and one of the very best in the world today. But he is facing another one of the very best in the world today, and in a street fight where he is very much at home. The question is, can he outlast the onslaught of Kenny Omega, the V-Triggers, the One-Winged Angels, and everything else in between to retain that very there championship? We're about to find out, and it's going to be a good one. To take something from Jim Ross, it's going to be a slobber knocker, and that man right there from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Kenny Omega, is looking to win the title here. And of course, that man right there, born in Cincinnati, Ohio, residing in Las Vegas, Nevada, Jon Moxley, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. But now Moxley hands over the AEW World title to Ref Aubrey as Kenny Omega looks at what he is fighting for. Ref Aubrey holds up the title. We are about to get underway with this no-holds-barred street fight in the main event of the first episode of Dynamite. Omega versus Moxley. Here we go. Moxley wasting no time with a right hand there straight to Kenny Omega's face, and this onslaught of strikes, but now Omega countering it nicely. Hit to the back right there of Moxley, and a right hand of his own forearm. A forearm that caught him flush, and now Omega has Moxley in the corner. What is Kenny Omega gonna go for here? Wait a second, moonsault to Moxley. And you want to talk about the offensive innovation that the Young Bucks were showing earlier tonight. Look no further when it comes to offensive innovation than Kenny Omega, and there's a snap German suplex. You never quite see it coming when it comes to Kenny Omega, but it is always incredibly impressive. A man who was always destined to be one of the very best wrestlers in the world. But Moxley, he may not be the best wrestler in the world, but he's damn sure one of the very best fighters in the world today. And now Moxley introduced that ladder into this equation here, but now Kenny Omega's going to take advantage with the power bomb on the edge of the ladder. And this may not be a ladder match, but you know that ladder can be used as a weapon effectively. And now Moxley back suplex, and now just wrestling down the neck of Kenny Omega here in the early going. This is already beginning to just fall into an all-out brawl between these two men, and you'd expect nothing less. And look at this, these right hands delivered by Moxley. He's a brawler through and through. And as the roster continues to grow here on Dynamite, you know that everyone is going to be gunning for Jon Moxley title. And wait a second, that's a classic wacky line. A little bit of a throwback to a past life for Jon Moxley right there with that wicked clothesline straight out of hell. And now, oh, right on the edge of the ladder right there. That's dirty, nothing pretty about that, but it did the job. But that rebound lariat right there off the ropes has really turned the tide for Moxley in this match. And now Moxley, oh, wait a second, counter there by Kenny Omega. Perhaps Kenny Omega looking to, oh my goodness me, holy mother of God, what a snap German on the ladder. And Mox looks to be out of this one. Wait a second, he's getting back up to his feet, but my God, what a snap German that was. Absolutely brutal, and we barely got going here in this main event for the AEW World Championship. And Kenny Omega and Moxley are already giving us an absolute treat here. And now Moxley, and their moonsault there by Omega. Excuse me if I'm getting the names mixed up. It is a new era here in Dynamite. It's a new job for me. I'm still getting to ropes. I'm still getting used to this AEW roster, but we'll get going. We'll get warmed up eventually. I'll tell you one thing though, in this roster reset, these two men do not need to get warmed up. They are already doing their thing that we know them both for famously. Omega showing that more technical side, that more brutal, just knees and leg offense, the offensive innovation. And of course Moxley, just a brawler through and through, heart to heart. And now Kenny, oh, V-trigger caught him flush right there. And now Kenny is pointing in the direction of Moxley, saying it's over, good night and goodbye, bang. And now Kenny Omega here, oh, nice there, a little bit of a rock bottom there, shout out to the People's Champion. And now look at this, Kenny Omega himself looking under the ring for a little bit of a toy right here. Moxley whipped out that ladder in this equation. What is Omega looking for under there? He's been spending a while, he's looking for something. Now a nice counter super kick there by Omega. He whipped out a table moments ago, and there's the DDT. He was interrupted by Moxley while he was looking for something, but he managed to pull it out anyway. He has a table introduced into this match. We've got tables, we've got ladders. The question is, are we going to see the third part of that equation, if you know what I mean? Oh, hang on a second, look at the positioning of Moxley right here, sending him straight through the table already. Moxley sent careening through that table, and the AEW World Champion may be in trouble right here if this continues from Omega. Oh my God, he drops him like a stack of dimes, and now Moxley is busted wide open, blood careening from his head. And look at that, Moxley is profusely bleeding from his forehead. But if there's anything that Moxley loves in a matchup, it is bleeding, it is blood. If there's anyone that loves that, it's Jon Moxley. And I mean, hey, Moxley said earlier tonight to Kenny Omega, and to anyone that was listening, if you want to take this title off me, you're gonna have to show reckless abandon. You're gonna have to leave blood, guts, and heart in the middle of that ring if you want to take that title from me. And even then, it won't be enough. But it may just be enough, because now Kenny Omega, another German suplex on the edge of that ladder. This has been brutal. My goodness me, is that a barbed wire steel chair that Kenny Omega has to the head of Jon Moxley? That's a barbed wire steel chair. A steel chair's already brutal enough, but with barbed wire wrapped around it, my God. Jesus Christ, Kenny Omega whipping out everything in this one. But now, Moxley, wait a second, a counter, paradigm shift. A paradigm shift right in the center of the ring from a bloodied and bruised Jon Moxley here on the first episode of Dynamite of the new era. And now here comes Jon Moxley, the strike, and he gets another. And now Moxley here, this is just vintage Moxley, and the strike as well in the corner. It's the Bulldog, no, counter. A counter there by Kenny Omega at the last second, German suplex. And now Moxley is still getting up. My God, look at the blood on the face of this man, and the steel chair completely legal at a no-holds-barred street fight. And Moxley again continuing to get up, but it may just be a matter of time, because Omega is putting on a performance of a lifetime, and we expect nothing less from the best bat machine. But when you consider the circumstances, this man has never been the AEW World Champion, a man who everyone thought would be the first AEW World Champion, and he has never been. And I think for Omega, that is fueling him here tonight. He absolutely has to get it done. It is now or never. But for Moxley, you know he's gonna fight back as well. You know he is not gonna give up anytime soon. And look at this now, Moxley just stomping and stepping on Omega. No love lost between these two men. And now just slamming the head of Kenny Omega into the mat right there. And now he's picking Omega up. Wait a second, what is he thinking right here? And now Jon Moxley going for the suplex. Oh, counter by Kenny Omega. Northern Lights. The Northern Lights by Kenny Omega. And now he's looking to go airborne, high risk. Will he get the high reward? Omega's turning around for something big. Moonsault connect. connects. He gets all of it into the cover on Jon Moxley. Aubrey Edwards down to the count, and no, a kick out by Jon Moxley. A kick out by the AEW World Champion despite everything he has been through in this one. And despite everything, Moxley is still getting back up to his feet here, and Kenny Omega doesn't even see that. He's looking under the ring for another weapon here in the street fight. Oh my goodness me, and with that table shot straight to the face of Moxley, Omega has a table in hand. He has something to prove right here. He has to win the world title at this point. It's becoming a must not lose in Kenny Omega's situation. And now the super kick, shout out to the Young Bucks. And now wait a second here, Kenny Omega with the knee straight to the head of Jon Moxley, and now he's going up to the top rope. Is this the finishing piece on his masterpiece for Kenny Omega? He's looking to finish it all off on the AEW World Champion and crown himself as the champion here in the main event. Here we go, dropkick, no, it doesn't connect. He doesn't get any of that. And now Moxley, what a maneuver. And now Moxley is feeling it here. Oh my god, he's looking for a measure of revenge. A measure of revenge with that chair. He has the chair in hand, and Omega has no idea what's going on behind him. Oh, wait a second, maybe he does. A counter. He manages to move out of the way of that steel chair shot. And now Kenny Omega, wait a second. Oh my god, Kenny Omega, there it is. From the one-winged angel position into the German suplex. And now Kenny Omega is pointing in the direction of Moxley. This might be it. And now look at this. Kenny Omega setting up a table again, looking to put Mox through it again right here. Perhaps with a one-winged angel, but Moxley with a counter right there. And now Jon Moxley, wait a second. He's got him hooked for the paradigm shift. And he got absolutely all of that. Another picture-perfect paradigm shift into the cover, but Omega kicks out at 2.5. How is Omega still going after that? And bigger question, how is Moxley still going? Look at the blood pouring out of this man's head, and it looks to be just fueling him on here in this match. And now here, Jon Moxley, oh, he puts him through the table right there. Nothing pretty about that, but a Russian leg sweep is just as effective to put Omega through the table. And now Moxley truly is feeling it right here. The tide has turned. And now here comes Moxley. Wait a second, countered by Omega, who has been busted wide open, by the way, in his own right, but not quite as much as Moxley. These two men just slugging out here in the main event. This is a street fight and nothing less. And now Kenny Omega, wait a second. Omega now has Moxley up, and wait a second, he's got him. One-winged angel. He got absolutely all of that one-winged angel right there. Omega connects with the one-winged angel into the cover. We're about to crown a new champion. Ref Aubrey to the cover. No, a kick out at 2.5, and Omega cannot believe his eyes. He cannot believe the pure resilience of Moxley right here. And wait a second, throwing up the two sweets. Shout out to his old days. We saw it earlier tonight with the Young Bucks throwing up the two sweets. What does that mean though? I mean, the last time we saw the three of them throwing up the two sweets was in New Japan for the Bullet Club, so what the hell are they referring to? But anyway, that's not the point right now. The point is a German suplex, and Moxley still gets back up to his feet, and now a V-trigger. How in the hell is Moxley still going? Look at that counter snap, but he sends Omega outside of the ring. Oh, the AEW fans here in attendance are feeling it for Moxley. He is on a roll right now. He will not be stopped as the world champion. You're gonna have to kill him and pry the title from his dead cold hands, as he said. And what a right hand that was there. Goes for the headbutt counter, caught him there by Kenny Omega. Goes for the jawbreaker, he connects with it, and now Omega gets caught with that right forearm. And now Moxley go for a suplex counter by Kenny Omega though. And now Omega counter fireman's carry though by Moxley. It has been back and forth between these two men right here. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about, between these two incredible competitors. And now Kenny Omega has Moxley where he wants him. Wait a second here, has him up, and now electric chair to the German suplex. And look at this, Kenny Omega is physically spent in this one. He is wondering, what does he have to do to put away Jon Moxley now? Because he doesn't know. He's thrown everything but the kitchen sink at this man, and still he is crawling to get back up to his feet. And perhaps this right here is the strategy for Kenny Omega. He brings in the ladder again, trying to use it on Jon Moxley. He's trying to German suplex him again, but Moxley with a counter right there. A perfect counter at the right time. But now Omega with the right hand straight to that exposed wound. And now the kick to the underside of the knee of Kenny Omega. And now Jon Moxley. And now Moxley here with the sit-out powerbomb on the back of the ladder. Oh my god. And how the turntables, because Moxley is on top now when he's saying it's game over for Kenny Omega. And now Omega, oh wait a second, counter there, neck breaker. And once again, the tide has turned in this match. But Kenny Omega looking to go airborne, ladies and gentlemen, from the top rope here. And he connects with it. What a main event this has been. And now Kenny Omega, what the hell is he going for here? Oh my goodness me, not on the outside of the ring. Surely not, oh my god. I mean, it's one thing to hit your opponent with everything on the outside of the ring, but the pinfall or the submission needs to happen inside. And now Omega with a steel stairs to the back of Moxley. Oh my god, what a shot. What a hit, son. What a hit from the back there of the steel steps to the back of Jon Moxley. My god. I don't know if I've said it already, but you can clearly tell there's no love lost between these these two, my goodness. And now Kenny Omega on the apron looking for a running start. He takes out Moxley. Oh, wait a second though. Counter there by Moxley. And now Kenny, oh my god, the knee. Omega has him exactly where he wants him. And I think Omega knows just as well as the AEW fans know that we're about to see the crowning of a new world champion right now. I love Jon Moxley, I really do, but I just don't think he has what it takes to get back up in this one. Omega has played this perfectly. He has played a perfect game since the upstart. Since the beginning of this match, Omega has played this perfectly, and now Omega, oh no, counter by Moxley. Counter by Moxley, and now he's got him on the apron here. And what the hell is Moxley thinking? Wait a second, knee straight to the face. Oh my goodness me, and now Moxley with the steel stairs in hand. He's already felt them himself in this match, and I think Omega's about to feel them as well. Omega, do not get up. You are not gonna like the view. Oh my goodness me. And Omega somehow still getting back up to his feet, but for how much longer in this one? Look at the size of the cut on Omega's head right now. It has been a bloody night here on AEW Dynamite. Everyone's been bleeding. It just shows how brutal the contests are going to be going forward. And now Moxley, nice roll through here. Wait a second. There's a paradigm shift. He connects with it. He gets absolutely all of it. Red 4 brings the cover off the paradigm shift again and again. A kick out from Kenny Omega. How is he doing this? Unfreaking believable. He might actually have to go get the kitchen sink because he's thrown everything else at Kenny Omega, and Omega vice versa has thrown everything at Moxley. And now what the hell? Oh my goodness me. Look at where that ladder is, by the way. And now Jon Moxley has Kenny Omega up at the top. Oh my goodness me. No. Oh my god. On the ladder with the reverse DDT. Or the reverse suplex onto the ladder. Either way, it's effective. And now Jon Moxley, here we go. The paradigm shift to Kenny Omega, and now Moxley into the cover. Aubrey Edwards down for the count, and Jon Moxley retains the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. What an unbelievable fight that was, here to open up the main event on the first episode of Dynamite of the new era. What an absolutely unbelievable contest between these two men. Bloodied, bruised, battered, blood, guts and heart left out in the middle of the ring, but in the end, Moxley retains the championship. What a hell of a contest. And after a brutal war like that, there's no surprise that there's so much blood on Moxley's face, but through the blood, he can still see that he is still the AEW World Heavyweight Champion.